أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, most benevolent, ever merciful.
قد أفلح المؤمنون.
The true believers will be successful.
الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون.
Who are humble in their service.
والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون.
Who shun all frivolities.
والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون.
Who strive for betterment.
والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين.
Who guard their sex, except from their wives and women slaves of old are free of blame.
فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون.
But those who covet more than this will be transgressors.
والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون.
And those who fulfill their trusts and keep their promises.
والذين هم على صلواتهم يحافظون.
And those who are watchful of their acts of prayer.
أولئك هم الوارثون الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون.
These are the real gainers, who will inherit paradise and live in it forever.
ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من سلالة من طين.
We created man from the finest extract of clay.
ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين.
Then we placed him as a sperm in a firmly established lodging.
ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين.
Then we fashioned the sperm into an embryo, then fashioned the embryo into a shapeless lump of flesh. Then from the lump of flesh we fashioned bones, then clothed the bones with flesh. Thus we formed him into a new creation. So blessed be God, the best of creators.
ثم إنكم بعد ذلك لميتون.
And then you will certainly die.
ثم إنكم يوم القيامة تبعثون.
Then will be raised up on the day of resurrection.
ولقد خلقنا فوقكم 7 طرائق وما كنا عن الخلق غافلين.
We made several highways, one over the other above you. We are not neglectful of creation.
وأنزلنا من السماء ماء بقدر فأسكناه في الأرض وإنا إنا على ذهاب به لقادرون.
We send down water from the sky in determined measure and store it up in the earth, and we have power to drain it away.
فأنشأنا لكم به جنات من نخيل وأعناب لكم فيها فواكه كثيرة ومنها تأكلون.
We grow orchards of dates and grapes from it for you, which yield fruits in abundance that you eat.
وشجرة تخرج من طور سيناء تنبت بالدهن وصبغ للآكلين.
The tree that grows on Mount Sinai yields oil and seasoning for those who eat.
وإن لكم في الأنعام لعبرة نسقيكم مما في بطونها ولكم فيها منافع كثيرة ومنها تأكلون.
There are lessons for you in the cattle from whose bellies we give you milk to drink, and there are other advantages that you derive from them, and some of them you eat.
وعليها وعلى الفلك تحملون.
And you are carried on them and on boats.
ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه فقال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره أفلا تتقون.
We sent Noah to his people. He said, O my people, worship God, for you have no other God but He. Will you not take heed for yourselves?
فقال الملأ الذين كفروا من قومه ما هذا إلا بشر مثلكم يريد أن يتفضل عليكم ولو شاء الله لأنزل ملائكة ما سمعنا بهذا في آبائنا الأولين.
The chiefs of his people who did not believe said, He is only a man like you. He wishes to acquire ascendancy over you. If God had willed, He would have sent down angels. We never heard this from our elders.
إن هو إلا رجل به جنة فتربصوا به حتى حين.
He is only a man possessed, so wait and watch him for a time.
قال رب انصرني بما كذبون.
O my Lord, prayed Noah, help me against them, for they accuse me of lies.
فأوحينا إليه أن اصنع الفلك بأعيننا ووحينا فإذا جاء أمرنا وفارت النور فاسلك فيها من كل زوجين اثنين وأهلك إلا من سبق عليه القول منهم ولا تخاطبني في الذين ظلموا إنهم مغرقون.
So we asked him to build the ark under our eyes and guidance and said, when our command is issued and the source of water boils over, put a pair of every species in it and your family except those for whom our sentence has been passed already. And do not speak to me for those who are wicked, they will be drowned.
فإذا استويت أنت ومن معك على الفلك فقل الحمد لله الذي نجانا من القوم الظالمين.
When you and those with you have boarded the ark, say, all praise be to God who has delivered us from the people who were sinful.
وقل رب أنزلني منزلا مباركا وأنت خير المنزلين.
And say, O Lord, disembark me in a welcome place. You are the best of deliverers.
إن في ذلك لآيات وإن كنا لمبتلين.
There were surely signs in this. We will surely put you to the test.
ثم أنشأنا من بعدهم قرنا آخرين.
After them, we raised a new generation.
فأرسلنا فيهم رسولا منهم أن اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره أفلا تتقون.
Then we sent to them an apostle from among them who said, Worship God, for you have no other God but He. Will you not take heed and fear God?
وقال الملأ من قومه الذين كفروا وكذبوا بلقاء الآخرة وأترفناهم في الحياة الدنيا ما هذا إلا بشر مثلكم يأكل مما تأكلون منه ويشرب مما تشربون.
The chiefs of the people who do not believe and denied the life to come, though we had given them good things of this life to enjoy, said, He is only a mortal like you. He eats as you do and drinks as you drink.
وَلَئِنْ أَطَعْتُمْ بَشَرًا مِثْلَكُمْ إِنَّكُمْ إِذًا لَخَاسِرُونَ.
So, if you follow a man like yourself, you will certainly be doomed.
أَيَعِدُكُمْ أَنَّكُمْ إِذَا مِتُّمْ وَكُنْتُمْ تُرَابًا وَعِظَامًا أَنَّكُمْ مُخْرَجُونَ.
Does he give you a promise that when you are dead and turn to dust and bones, you will be raised to life again?
هيهات هيهات لما توعدون.
How far-fetched what you are promised.
إن هي إلا حياتنا الدنيا نموت ونحيا وما نحن بمبعوثين.
There is only the life of this world. We die and we live. There is no rising from the dead for us.
إن هو إلا رجل افترى على الله كذبا وما نحن له بمؤمنين.
He is just a man who invents a lie about God. We cannot believe in him.
قال رب انصرني بما كذبون.
The apostle prayed, O Lord, deliver me, for they accuse me of lies.
قال عما قليل ليصبحن نادمين.
Answered the Lord, they shall wake up repenting soon.
فأخذتهم الصيحة بالحق فجعلناهم غثاء فبعدا للقوم الظالمين.
So they were rightly seized by a mighty blast, and we turned them into mouldy rubbish, a good riddance of the wicked people.
ثم أنشأنا من بعدهم قرونا آخرين.
Then after them we raised other generations.
ما تسبق من أمة أجلها وما يستأخرون.
No nation can live beyond its allotted time or lag behind.
ثم أرسلنا رسلنا تترى كلما جاء أمة رسولها كذبوه فأتبعنا بعضهم بعضا وجعلناهم أحاديث فبعدا لقوم لا يؤمنون.
Then we sent our apostles one after the other. Every time an apostle came to a people, they denied him. So we made one follow the other to its doom and turned them into bygone tales. Cursed be the people who do not believe.
ثم أرسلنا موسى وأخاه هارون بآياتنا وسلطان مبين إلى فرعون وملئه فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما عالين.
Then we sent Moses and his brother Aaron with our miracles and clear proofs to Pharaoh and his nobles who behaved with arrogance, for they were a conceited lot.
فقالوا أنؤمن لبشرين مثلنا وقومهما لنا عابدون.
And said, should we believe in two men like yourselves, whose people are our subjects?
فكذبوهما فكانوا من المهلكين.
Then they accused them of lies and joined the company of those who were destroyed.
ولقد آتينا موسى الكتاب لعلهم يهتدون.
And we gave the book to Moses so that they may be guided.
وجعلنا ابن مريم وأمه آية وآويناهما إلى ربوة ذات قرار ومعين.
And we made the son of Mary and his mother a sign and gave them shelter on an elevated ground, sequestered, watered by a spring.
يا أيها الرسل كلوا من الطيبات واعملوا صالحا إني بما تعملون عليم.
O you apostles, eat things that are clean and do things that are good. We are surely cognizant of what you do.
وإن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاتقون.
Verily, this your order is one order, and I am your Lord, so fear me.
فتقطعوا أمرهم بينهم زبرا كل حزب بما لديهم فرحون.
But then they divided up their order into different creeds, each section rejoicing in what it had come to have.
فذرهم في غمرتهم حتى حين.
So leave them to their ignorance for a time.
أيحسبون أن ما نمدهم به من مال وبنين.
Do they think that by increasing their wealth and children,
نسارع لهم في الخيرات بل لا يشعرون.
we are hastening to reward them for good deeds? No, they do not comprehend.
إن الذين هم من خشية ربهم مشفقون.
Surely those who live in awe of their Lord,
والذين هم بآيات ربهم يؤمنون. يؤمنون
who believe in their Lord's revelations,
والذين هم بربهم لا يشركون
who do not associate anyone with their Lord,
والذين يؤتون ما آتوا وقلوبهم وجلة أنهم إلى ربهم راجعون
who give whatsoever they give in His way, and their hearts tremble with fear that they have to go back to their Lord.
أولئك يسارعون في الخيرات وهم لها سابقون
Are the ones who hasten to goodness and outpace the others.
ولا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها ولدينا كتاب ينطق بالحق وهم لا يظلمون
We do not burden a soul beyond capacity, for we have a record that tells the truth. No wrong will be done to anyone.
بل قلوبهم في غمرة من هذا ولهم أعمال من دون ذلك هم لها عاملون
Yet their hearts are oblivious of this, and besides, they are busy with other things.
حتى إذا أخذنا مترفيهم بالعذاب إذا هم يجأرون
So that when we seize the affluent among them with affliction, they will begin to implore for help.
لا تجأروا اليوم إنكم منا لا تنصرون
Do not supplicate for help today. You will not be rescued by us.
قد كانت آياتي تتلى عليكم فكنتم على أعقابكم تنكصون مستكبرين به سامرا تهجرون
For when my revelations were read out to you, you turned back on your heels and fled, insolently, treating them like tales told at night.
أفلم يدبروا القول أم جاءهم ما لم يأت آباءهم الأولين
Why did they not think over the message? Or has something come to them which had not come to their fathers?
أم لم يعرفوا رسولهم فهم له منكرون
Or did they not recognize their apostle and rejected him?
أم يقولون به جنة بل جاءهم بالحق وأكثرهم للحق كارهون
Or do they say that he is possessed? In fact, he has brought the truth to them, but most of them abhor the truth.
ولو اتبع الحق أهواءهم لفسدت السماوات والأرض ومن فيهن بل أتيناهم بذكرهم فهم عن ذكرهم معرضون
Had truth been subject to their whims, the heavens and the earth and all those within them would have been depraved. In fact, we had sent them their reminder, but they turned away from good advice.
أم تسألهم خرجا فخراج ربك خير وهو خير الرازقين
Or do you ask of them any tribute? In that case, the tribute of your Lord is better, for He is the best of providers.
وإنك لتدعوهم إلى صراط مستقيم
You are surely calling them to the right path.
وإن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة عن الصراط لناكبون.
But those who believe not in the hereafter turn away from the straight path.
ولو رحمناهم وكشفنا ما بهم من ضر للجوا في طغيانهم يعمهون.
If we took compassion on them and removed the affliction they are in, they would only wander lost in confusion.
ولقد أخذناهم بالعذاب فما استكانوا لربهم وما يتضرعون.
We had seized them with the punishment, but they did not bow before their Lord, nor turn to him in humility.
حتى إذا فتحنا عليهم بابا ذا عذاب شديد إذا هم فيه مبلسون.
So that when at last we open up the gate of severe punishment on them, they will be overwhelmed with despair.
وهو الذي أنشأ لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون.
It is He who gave you hearing, sight and hearts, but only few of you give thanks.
وهو الذي ذرأكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون.
It is He who multiplied you on the earth, and it will be before Him that you will be gathered.
وهو الذي يحيي ويميت وله اختلاف الليل والنهار أفلا تعقلون.
It is He who gives you life and death, and His the alternation of night and day. Even then you do not understand.
بل قالوا مثل ما قال الأولون.
And talk as did the people of old.
قالوا أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أإنا لمبعوثون.
They say, when we are dead and turn to dust and bones, shall we be raised to life again?
لقد وعدنا نحن وآباؤنا هذا من قبل إن هذا إلا أساطير الأولين.
We and our fathers were promised this before. It is nothing but ancient lore.
قل لمن الأرض ومن فيها إن كنتم تعلمون.
Say, to whom does the earth and whosoever is upon it then belong, if you know?
سيقولون لله قل أفلا تذكرون.
They will say, to God, say, then why do you not bethink yourselves?
قل من رب السماوات السبع ورب العرش العظيم.
Say, then who is the Lord of the seven skies, and who is the Lord of the mighty throne?
سيقولون لله قل أفلا تتقون.
They will say, God, say, then why do you not obey and fear Him?
قل من بيده ملكوت كل شيء وهو يجير ولا يجار عليه إن كنتم تعلمون.
Say, whose is the sovereignty over all things, who protects, and against whom there is no protection? Answer, if you have knowledge.
سيقولون لله قل فأنا تسحرون.
They will say, Gods, say, then why are you so deluded?
بل أتيناهم بالحق وإنهم لكاذبون.
In fact, we have sent the truth to them, but they are liars.
ما اتخذ الله من ولد وما كان معه من إله إذا لذهب كل إله بما خلق ولعلى بعضهم على بعض سبحان الله عما يصفون.
God has not begotten a son, nor is there any God besides him. Had this been so, each God would have taken away what he had created with him, and some would have risen over the others. God is much too glorious for what they attribute to him.
عالم الغيب والشهادة فتعالى عما يشركون.
The knower of the absent and the present, too exalted is he for what they associate with him.
قل رب إما تريني ما يوعدون.
Say, O Lord, if I am made to see what has been promised them,
رب فلا تجعلني في القوم الظالمين.
then do not, O Lord, put me among the sinners.
وإنا على أن نريك ما نعدهم لقادرون.
We have certainly the power to make you see what we have promised them.
ادفع بالتي هي أحسن السيئة نحن أعلم بما يصفون.
Dispel evil with what is good. We know well what they attribute to us.
وقل رب أعوذ بك من همزات الشياطين.
Say, my Lord, I seek refuge in you from the evil promptings of the devils.
وأعوذ بك رب أن يحضرون.
I seek refuge in you lest they come to me.
حتى إذا جاء أحدهم الموت قال رب ارجعون.
But the unbelievers will persist until when death comes to one of them, he will say, O Lord, send me back again.
لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما تركت كلا إنها كلمة هو قائلها ومن ورائهم برزخ إلى يوم يبعثون.
That I may do some good I did not do in the world. Not so, these are only words he utters. Behind them lies the intervening barrier, stretching to the day of their resurrection.
فإذا نفخ في الصور فلا أنساب بينهم يومئذ ولا يتساءلون.
When the trumpet blast is sounded, no ties of lineage will hold among them, nor will they ask after one another.
فمن ثقلت موازينه فأولئك هم المفلحون.
Only those whose scales are heavier in the balance will find happiness.
ومن خفت موازينه فأولئك الذين خسروا أنفسهم في جهنم خالدون.
But those whose scales are lighter will perish and abide in hell forever.
تلفح وجوههم النار وهم فيها كالحون.
Their faces will be scorched by flames, and they will grin and scowl within it.
ألم تكن آياتي تتلى تتلى عليكم فكنتم بها تكذبون.
Were not my messages read out to you, but you denied them?
قالوا ربنا غلبت علينا شقوتنا وكنا قوما ضالين.
They will say, O Lord, our misery overwhelmed us, so we remained a people astray.
ربنا أخرجنا منها فإن عدنا فإنا ظالمون.
Get us out of this, O Lord. If we transgress, we will surely be sinful.
قال اخسئوا فيها ولا تكلمون.
He will say, remain condemned in it, and do not speak to me.
إنه كان فريق من عبادي يقولون ربنا آمنا فاغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين.
There was a section among my creatures that said, O Lord, we believe. Forgive us and have mercy upon us, for you are the best of the merciful.
فاتخذتموهم سخريا حتى أنسوكم ذكري وكنتم منهم تضحكون.
But you ridiculed them, so much so that out of spite for them you forgot to remember me and laughed at them.
إني جزيتهم اليوم بما صبروا أنهم هم الفائزون.
I have rewarded them this day, for they were constant, and they have come to attainment.
قال كم لبثتم في الأرض عدد سنين.
They will be asked, how long did you live on the earth in terms of years?
قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم فاسأل العادين.
They will say, a day or less than a day. Ask the enumerators of numbers.
قال إن لبثتم إلا قليلا لو أنكم كنتم تعلمون.
He will say, you stayed there only a moment, if you knew.
أفحسبتم أنما خلقناكم عبثا وأنكم إلينا لا ترجعون.
Do you think we created you for nothing, and that you will not return to us?
فتعالى الله الملك الحق لا إله إلا هو رب العرش الكريم.
Exalted then be God, the King, the real. There is no God but He, the Lord of the glorious throne.
ومن يدع مع الله إلها آخر لا برهان له به فإنما حسابه عند ربه إنه لا يفلح الكافرون.
Whoever worships another God apart from God, for which he holds no proof, will have to account for it before his Lord. Verily the unbelievers will not prosper.
وقل رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين.
Say, my Lord, forgive and have mercy. You are the best of the merciful.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, most benevolent, ever merciful.
سورة أنزلناها أنزلناها وفرضناها وأنزلنا فيها آيات بينات لعلكم تذكرون.
We have revealed this surah and made it obligatory as we have sent down clear injunctions in it that you may be warned.
الزانية والزاني فاجلدوا كل واحد منهما 100 جلدة ولا تأخذكم بهما رأفة في دين الله إن كنتم تؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر وليشهد عذابهما طائفة من المؤمنين.
The adulteress and the adulterer should be flogged 100 lashes each, and no pity for them should deter you from the law of God, if you believe in God and the last day, and the punishment should be witnessed by a body of believers.
الزاني لا ينكح إلا زانية أو مشركة والزانية لا ينكحها إلا زان أو مشرك وحرم ذلك على المؤمنين.
The adulterer can marry no one but an adulteress or his partner in the act, and the adulteress cannot marry any but an adulterer or her partner in the act. This is forbidden the believers.
والذين يرمون المحصنات ثم لم يأتوا ب4 شهداء فاجلدوهم 80 جلدة ولا تقبلوا لهم شهادة أبدا وأولئك هم الفاسقون.
Those who defame chaste women and do not bring 4 witnesses should be punished with 80 lashes, and their testimony should not be accepted afterwards, for they are profligates.
إلا الذين تابوا من بعد ذلك وأصلحوا فإن الله غفور رحيم.
Except those who repent after this and reform, and God is surely forgiving and kind.
والذين يرمون أزواجهم ولم يكن لهم شهداء إلا أنفسهم فشهادة أحدهم 4 شهادات بالله إنه لمن الصادقين.
Those who accuse their wives and do not have any witnesses except themselves should swear 4 times in the name of God, the testimony of each such person being that he is speaking the truth.
والخامسة أن لعنة الله عليه إن كان من الكاذبين.
And swear a 5th time that if he tell a lie, the curse of God be on him.
ويدرأ عنها العذاب أن تشهد 4 شهادات بالله إنه لمن الكاذبين.
The woman's punishment can be averted if she swears 4 times by God as testimony that her husband is a liar.
والخامسة أن غضب الله عليها إن كان من الصادقين.
Her 5th oath being that the curse of God be on her if her husband should be speaking the truth.
ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته وأن الله تواب حكيم.
This would not have been possible if the grace and benevolence of God were not upon you. But God is compassionate and wise.
إن الذين جاءوا بالإفك عصبة منكم لا تحسبوه شرا لكم بل هو خير لكم لكل امرئ منهم ما اكتسب من الإثم والذي تولى كبره منهم له عذاب عظيم.
Those who spread lies were a clique among you. Do not think that it was bad for you. In fact, it has been good for you. Each of them will pay for the sin he has committed, and he who had greater share of guilt will suffer grievous punishment.
لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا وقالوا هذا إفك مبين.
Why did the faithful men and women not think well of their people when they heard this, and said, "This is a clear lie"?
لولا جاءوا عليه بأربعة شهداء فإذ لم يأتوا بالشهداء فأولئك عند الله هم الكاذبون.
Why did they not bring 4 witnesses in support of their charge? And since they did not bring the 4 witnesses, they are themselves liars in the sight of God.
ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته في الدنيا والآخرة لمسكم فيما أفضتم فيه عذاب عظيم.
Were it not for the grace of God and His mercy upon you in this world and the next, you would have suffered a great affliction for the false accusation.
إذ تلقونه بألسنتكم وتقولون بأفواهكم ما ليس لكم به علم وتحسبونه هينا وهو عند الله عظيم.
When you talked about it and said what you did not know and took it lightly, though in the sight of God it was serious.
ولولا إذ سمعتموه قلتم ما يكون لنا أن نتكلم بهذا سبحانك هذا بهتان عظيم.
Why did you not say when you heard it, "It is not for us to speak of it. God preserve us. It is a great calumny"?
يعظكم الله أن تعودوا لمثله أبدا إن كنتم مؤمنين.
God counsels you not to do a thing like this if you are believers.
ويبين الله لكم الآيات والله عليم حكيم.
God explains His commands to you clearly, for God is all-knowing and all-wise.
إن الذين يحبون أن تشيع الفاحشة في الذين آمنوا لهم عذاب أليم في الدنيا والآخرة والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون.
There is a painful punishment in this world and the next for those who like that immorality should spread among the believers. For God knows and you do not know.
ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته وأن الله رؤوف رحيم.
But for the grace of God and His mercy, much harm would have been done. Yet God is compassionate and kind.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان ومن يتبع خطوات الشيطان فإنه يأمر بالفحشاء والمنكر ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته ما زكى منكم من أحد أبدا ولكن الله يزكي من يشاء والله سميع عليم.
O you who believe, do not follow in the footsteps of Satan, for he who follows in the footsteps of Satan will be induced by him to what is shameful and forbidden. But for the grace of God and his mercy upon you, none of you would have escaped undefiled. But God makes whosoever he will grow in goodness, for God is all-hearing and all-knowing.
ولا يأتل أولو الفضل منكم والسعة أن يؤتوا أولي القربى والمساكين والمهاجرين في سبيل الله وليعفوا وليصفحوا ألا تحبون أن يغفر الله لكم والله غفور رحيم.
Let not those who are men of plenty and means among you swear that they will not give to their relatives and the poor and those who leave their homes in the service of God. They should forgive and overlook their failings. Would you not like God to forgive you, and God is forgiving and kind?
إن الذين يرمون المحصنات الغافلات المؤمنات لعنوا في الدنيا والآخرة ولهم عذاب عظيم.
Verily, those who blaspheme unsuspecting, chaste, believing women will be cursed in this world and the next, and for them there will be severe punishment.
يوم تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم وأيديهم وأرجلهم بما كانوا يعملون.
The day their tongues and hands and feet bear witness to what they had done.
يومئذ يوفيهم الله دينهم الحق ويعلمون أن الله هو الحق المبين.
God will pay them on that day their just due in full, and they will come to know that God is the tangible reality.
الخبيثات للخبيثين والخبيثون للخبيثات والطيبات للطيبين والطيبون للطيبات أولئك مبرؤون مما يقولون لهم مغفرة ورزق كريم.
Bad women deserve bad men, and bad men are for bad women. But good women are for good men, and good men for good women, for they are innocent of what people say. There is forgiveness for them and a gracious provision.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تدخلوا بيوتا غير بيوتكم حتى تستأنسوا وتسلموا على أهلها ذلكم خير لكم لعلكم تذكرون.
O you who believe, do not enter other houses except yours without first asking permission and saluting the inmates. This is better for you. You may happily take heed.
فإن لم تجدوا فيها أحدا فلا تدخلوها حتى يؤذن لكم وإن قيل لكم ارجعوا فارجعوا وأزكى لكم والله بما تعملون عليم.
If you find that no one is in, then do not enter unless you have received permission. If you are asked to go away, turn back. That is proper for you. God is aware of what you do.
ليس عليكم جناح أن تدخلوا بيوتا غير مسكونة فيها متاع لكم والله يعلم ما تبدون وما تكتمون.
There is no harm in going into uninhabited houses where there is some convenience for you, as God has knowledge of what you hide and what you disclose.
قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم ويحفظوا فروجهم ذلك أزكى لهم إن الله خبير بما يصنعون.
Tell the believing men to lower their eyes and guard their private parts. There is for them goodness in this. God is aware of what they do.
وقل للمؤمنات يغضضن من أبصارهن ويحفظن فروجهن ولا يبدين زينتهن إلا ما ظهر منها وليضربن بخمرهن على جيوبهن ولا يبدين زينتهن إلا لبعولتهن أو آبائهن أو آباء بعولتهن أو أبنائهن أو أبناء بعولتهن أو إخوانهن أو بني إخوانهن أو بني أخواتهن أو نسائهن أو ما ملكت أيمانهن أو التابعين غير أولي الإربة من الرجال أو الطفل الذين لم يظهروا على عورات النساء ولا يضربن بأرجلهن ليعلم ما يخفين من زينتهن وتوبوا إلى الله جميعا أيها المؤمنون لعلكم تفلحون.
Tell the believing women to lower their eyes, guard their private parts, and not display their charms except what is apparent outwardly, and cover their bosoms with their veils, and not to show their finery except to their husbands, or their fathers or fathers-in-law, their sons or stepsons, brothers or their brothers and sisters' sons, or their women attendants or captives, or male attendants who do not have any need for women, or boys not yet aware of sex. They should not walk stamping their feet, lest they make known what they hide of their ornaments. O believers, turn to God, every one of you, so that you may be successful.
وأنكحوا الأيام منكم والصالحين من عبادكم وإمائكم إن يكونوا فقراء يغنهم الله من فضله والله واسع عليم.
Marry off those who are single among you, and those of your male and female servants who are righteous. If they are poor, God will enrich them of His grace, for God is bounteous and all-knowing.
وليستعفف الذين لا يجدون نكاحا حتى يغنيهم الله من فضله والذين يبتغون الكتاب مما ملكت أيمانكم فكاتبوهم إن علمتم فيهم خيرا وآتوهم مما لله الذي آتاكم ولا تكرهوا فتياتكم على البغاء إن أردنا تحصنا لتبتغوا عرض الحياة الدنيا ومن يكرههن فإن الله من بعد إكراههن غفور رحيم.
Those who cannot afford to marry should abstain from what is unlawful until God enriches them by His grace. And free those slaves you possess who wish to buy their freedom after a written undertaking. If you know they have some goodness, and give them out of the riches God has given you. Do not force your maids to prostitution if they wish to lead married lives in order to get the benefits of this world. But if someone forces them, surely God will forgive them after their forced helplessness, for He is forgiving and kind.
وَلَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ آيَاتٍ مُبَيِّنَاتٍ وَمَثَلًا من الذين خلوا من قبلكم وموعظة للمتقين.
We have sent down clear instructions to you and illustrations from the accounts of those who have gone before you and a warning for those who take heed for themselves.
الله نور السماوات والأرض مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح المصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم.
God is the light of the heavens and the earth. The semblance of His light is that of a niche in which is a lamp, the flame within a glass, the glass a glittering star as it were, lit with the oil of a blessed tree, the olive, neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil appears to light up even though fire touches it not, light upon light. God guides to His light whom He will. So does God advance precepts of wisdom for men. For God has knowledge of everything.
في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال.
The light is lit in houses of worship which God has allowed to be raised, and His name remembered in them. His praises are sung there morning and evening.
رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه القلوب والأبصار.
By men not distracted from the remembrance of God, either by trade and commerce or buying and selling, who stand by their devotional obligations and pay the zakat, who fear the day when hearts and eyes would flutter with trepidation.
ليجزيهم الله أحسن ما عملوا ويزيدهم من فضله والله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب.
That God may reward them for the best of their deeds and bestow more on them of His bounty, for God gives whom He please without measure.
والذين كفروا أعمالهم كسراب بقيعة يحسبه الظمآن ماء حتى إذا جاءه لم يجده شيئا ووجد الله عنده فوفاه حسابه والله سريع الحساب.
As for those who disbelieve, their deeds are like a mirage in the desert, which the thirsty takes for water till he reaches it to find that there was nothing, and finds with God who settles his account, for God is swift at the reckoning.
أو كظلمات في بحر اللج يغشاه موج من فوقه موج من فوقه سحاب ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض إذا أخرج يده لم يكد يراها ومن لم يجعل الله له نورا فما له من نور.
Or like darkness in a wide, wide sea, waves surging upon waves, with clouds overhanging, darkness on darkness. If you stretch your hand, you could hardly see it. For him whom God does not give any light, there is no light.
ألم تر أن الله يسبح له من في السماوات والأرض والطير صافات كل قد علم صلاته وتسبيحه والله عليم بما يفعلون.
Have you not seen that all those who are in the heavens and the earth, and the birds on the wing, sing the praises of God? Each one knows its obligations and its duties, and God knows whatever they do.
وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَإِلَى اللَّهِ الْمَصِيرُ.
For God's is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and the returning is to God.
ألم تر أن الله يزجي سحابا ثم يؤلف بينه ثم يجعله ركاما فترى الودق يخرج من خلاله وينزل من السماء من جبال فيها من برد فيصيب به من يشاء ويصرفه عن من يشاء يكاد سنا برقه يذهب بالأبصار.
Have you not seen that God drives the clouds, then joins them together and puts them fold on fold? Then you see the rain fall through them, and he sends down hail from the sky, where there are mountains of it, and strikes those with it whom he will, and wards it off from whomsoever he please. His lightning could snatch away their eyes.
يقلب الله الليل والنهار إن في ذلك لعبرة لأولي الأبصار.
It is God who alternates night and day. There is surely a lesson in this for men of sight.
والله خلق كل دابة من ماء فمنهم من يمشي على بطنه ومنهم من يمشي على رجلين ومنهم من يمشي على أربع يخلق الله ما يشاء إن الله على كل شيء قدير.
God created every moving thing from water. One crawls on its belly, one walks on 2 legs, another moves on 4. God creates whatsoever He will. Indeed, God has power over everything.
لقد أنزلنا آيات مبينات والله يهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
We have surely sent down clear signs. It is God who guides whom He will to the path that is straight.
ويقولون آمنا بالله وبالرسول وأطعنا ثم يتولى فريق منهم من بعد ذلك وما أولئك بالمؤمنين.
They say they believe in God and the Prophet and have come to believe, yet a section of them turns back even after this, and these are not believers.
وَإِذَا دُعُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ لِيَحْكُمَ بَيْنَهُمْ إِذَا فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ.
When they are called to God and His Prophet, that He may judge between them, a section of them turns away.
وَإِن يَكُن لَّهُمُ الْحَقُّ يَأْتُوا إِلَيْهِ مُذْعِنِينَ.
Had right been on their side, they would have come to Him submissively.
أَفِي قُلُوبِهِم مَّرَضٌ أَمِ ارْتَابُوا أَمْ يَخَافُونَ أَن يَحِيفَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ وَرَسُولُهُ بَلْ أُولَئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ.
Is there a malady in their hearts, or they are deluded, or afraid that God and His Prophet would be unjust in dealing with them? Not so. They are themselves unjust.
إنما كان قول المؤمنين إذا دعوا إلى الله ورسوله ليحكم بينهم أن يقولوا سمعنا وأطعنا وأولئك هم المفلحون.
The answer of the believers when they are called to God and His Apostle that He may judge between them is, we hear and obey. And they are the ones who will prosper.
ومن يطع الله ورسوله ويخشى الله ويتقه فأولئك هم الفائزون.
Whoever obeys God and His Prophet, fears God and does his duty to Him, will surely find success.
وأقسموا بالله جهد أيمانهم لئن أمرتهم ليخرجن قل لا تقسموا طاعة معروفة إن الله خبير بما تعملون.
They swear solemnly by God, if you command us, we shall go forth. Say, do not swear. What is wanted is obedience, as should be. God is certainly aware of what you do.
قل أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول فإن تولوا فإنما عليه ما حمل وعليكم ما حملتم وإن تطيعوه تهتدوا وما على الرسول إلا البلاغ المبين.
Say, obey God and obey the Apostle. If you turn away, then for him is his duty to fulfill, and for you the burden that you carry. Yet if you obey him, you will be rightly guided. The duty of the messenger is to convey the message clearly.
وعد الله الذين آمنوا منكم وعملوا الصالحات ليستخلفنهم في الأرض كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم وليمكنن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم وليبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا ومن كفر بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الفاسقون.
God has promised to make those of you who believe and do the right leaders in the land, as he had made those before them, and will establish their faith which he has chosen for them and change their fear into security. They will worship me and not associate anyone with me, but those who disbelieve after this will be reprobates.
وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأطيعوا الرسول لعلكم ترحمون.
So observe your devotional obligations, pay the zakat and obey the apostle, so that you may be shown mercy.
لا تحسبن الذين كفروا معجزين في الأرض ومأواهم النار ولبئس المصير.
Do not think that unbelievers will subvert the authority of God on earth. Their abode is hell, and what an evil destination.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا ليستأذنكم الذين ملكت أيمانكم والذين لم يبلغوا الحلم منكم 3 مرات من قبل صلاة الفجر وحين تضعون ثيابكم من الظهيرة ومن بعد صلاة العشاء 3 عورات لكم ليس عليكم ولا عليهم جناح بعدهن طوافون عليكم بعضكم على بعض كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات والله عليم حكيم.
O you who believe, let your dependents and those who have not yet reached the age of puberty ask permission to enter your presence on 3 occasions: before the early morning prayer, when you disrobe for the midday siesta, and after prayer at night. These are the 3 occasions of dishabille for you. There is no harm if you or they visit one another at other times without permission. God thus explains things to you clearly, for God is all-knowing and all-wise.
وَإِذَا بَلَغَ الْأَطْفَالُ مِنكُمُ الْحُلُمَ فَلْيَسْتَأْذِنُوا كَمَا اسْتَأْذَنَ الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِهِمْ كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته والله عليم حكيم.
When your children have reached the age of puberty, they should similarly ask your leave for entering as others did before them. God thus clearly explains his commands to you, for God is all-knowing and all-wise.
والقواعد من النساء اللاتي لا يرجون نكاحا فليس عليهن جناح أن يضعن ثيابهن غير متبرجات بزينة وأن يستعففن خير لهن والله سميع عليم.
As for your women past the age of bearing children, who have no hope of marriage, there is no harm if they take off their outer garments, but in such a way that they do not display their charms. Yet if they avoid this, it would be better for them. God is all-hearing and all-knowing.
ليس على الأعمى حرج ولا على الأعرج حرج ولا على المريض حرج ولا على أنفسكم أن تأكلوا من بيوتكم أو بيوت آبائكم أو بيوت أمهاتكم أو بيوت إخوانكم أو بيوت أخواتكم أو بيوت أعمامكم أو بيوت عماتكم أو بيوت أخوالكم أو بيوت خالاتكم أو ما ملكتم مفاتحه أو صديقكم. ليس عليكم جناح أن تأكلوا جميعا أو أشتاتا، فإذا دخلتم بيوتا فسلموا على أنفسكم تحية من عند الله مباركة طيبة، كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تعقلون.
There is no harm if the blind, the lame, the sick, or you yourselves eat in your own houses, or the houses of your fathers, mothers, or your brothers' houses, or those of your sisters, or your father's brothers or sisters, or your mother's brothers or sisters, or in the houses whose care is entrusted to you, or the houses of your friends. There is no harm in your eating together or separately, but when you enter the houses, salute the inmates with a greeting in the name of God, invoking blessings and good health. That is how God explains things to you clearly, so that you may understand.
إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله وإذا كانوا معه على أمر جامع لم يذهبوا حتى يستأذنوه. إن الذين يستأذنونك أولئك الذين يؤمنون بالله ورسوله، فإذا استأذنوك لبعض شأنهم فأذن لمن شئت منهم واستغفر لهم الله، إن الله غفور رحيم.
They alone are true believers who believe in God and His apostles, and when they are with Him on a matter of common concern, do not part without obtaining His leave. Surely those who ask leave of you are the ones who believe in God and His apostles. Therefore, when they ask leave of you for personal business, give leave to those you please, and seek God's forgiveness for them. Surely God is forgiving and kind.
لا تجعلوا دعاء الرسول بينكم كدعاء بعضكم بعضا، قد يعلم الله الذين يتسللون منكم لواذا، فليحذر الذين يخالفون عن أمره أن تصيبهم فتنة أو يصيبهم عذاب أليم.
Do not consider your being summoned by the apostle to be like your summoning one another. God knows those of you who go away surreptitiously. So let those who act in contravention of His command take heed, lest a trial should befall them or a grievous punishment come upon them.
ألا إن لله ما في السماوات والأرض، قد يعلم ما أنتم عليه ويوم يرجعون إليه فينبئهم بما عملوا، والله بكل شيء عليم.
Does not everything in the heavens and the earth belong to God? He surely knows what state you are in, and on the day they go back to Him, He will tell them what they used to do, for God has knowledge of everything.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, most benevolent, ever merciful.
تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا.
Blessed is he who revealed the criterion of right and wrong to his votary, that it may be a warning for the world.
الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض ولم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك وخلق كل شيء فقدره تقديرا.
He to whom belongs the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, who has neither begotten a son, nor has he a partner in his kingdom, who created everything and determined its exact measure.
واتخذوا من دونه آلهة لا يخلقون شيئا وهم يخلقون ولا يملكون لأنفسهم ضرا ولا نفعا ولا يملكون موتا ولا حياة ولا نشورا.
Yet they choose apart from him gods who have not created anything and have themselves been created, who possess no power over their loss or gain, or their death or life or being raised to life again.
وقال الذين كفروا إن هذا إلا إفك افتراه وأعانه عليه قوم آخرون فقد جاءوا ظلما وزورا.
Yet the unbelievers say, this is nothing but a lie he has concocted, in which others have aided him. They have come down to mischief and lies.
وقالوا أساطير الأولين اكتتبها فهي تملى عليه بكرة وأصيلا.
And they say, these are fables of antiquity he has invented, which are dictated to him morning and evening.
قل أنزله الذي يعلم السر في السماوات والأرض إنه كان غفورا رحيما.
Say, he who knows the secrets of the heavens and the earth has revealed it to me, and he is surely forgiving and kind.
وقالوا ما لهذا الرسول يأكل الطعام ويمشي في الأسواق لولا أنزل إليه ملك فيكون معه نذيرا.
But they say, what sort of prophet is this who eats food and walks the marketplaces? Why was no angel sent to him to act as admonisher with him?
أو يلقى إليه كنز أو تكون له جنة يأكل منها وقال الظالمون إن تتبعون إلا رجلا مسحورا.
Or a treasure should have been given to him, or he should have had an orchard from which he could eat. And these wicked people say, you only follow a man ensorcelled.
انظر كيف ضربوا لك الأمثال فضلوا فلا يستطيعون سبيلا.
Just see what comparisons they bring up for you. They are lost and cannot find the way.
تبارك الذي إن شاء جعل لك خيرا من ذلك جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ويجعل لك قصورا.
Blessed be he who, if he pleased, could give you better than that. Gardens with rivers flowing by, and make palaces for you.
بل كذبوا بالساعة وأعتدنا لمن كذب بالساعة سعيرا.
Yet they reject the hour as untrue. We have prepared a fire for those who deny the resurrection.
إذا رأتهم من مكان بعيد سمعوا لها تغيظا وزفيرا.
When hell appears to them from a distance, they will hear it raging and roaring.
وإذا ألقوا منها مكانا ضيقا مقرنين دعوا هنالك ثبورا.
And when they are cast within a narrow space of it chained together, they would plead for death.
لا تدعوا اليوم ثبورا واحدا وادعوا ثبورا كثيرا.
Do not ask for one death but many deaths on this day.
قل أذلك خير أم جنة الخلد التي وعد المتقون كانت لهم جزاء ومصيرا لهم فيها ما يشاءون خالدين كان على ربك وعدا مسئولا.
Ask them, is this better or a garden for everlasting abode, which has been promised the pious and devout? It would be their guerdon and their destination. There will they have whatever they wish, and there abide forever. This is a promise incumbent on your Lord, which will certainly be fulfilled.
ويوم يحشرهم وما يعبدون من دون الله فيقول أأنتم أضللتم عبادي هؤلاء أم هم ضلوا السبيل.
The day he will gather them together along with those they worshipped other than God. He will ask them, did you lure these creatures of mine away, or did they themselves go astray?
قالوا سبحانك ما كان ينبغي لنا أن نتخذ من دونك من أولياء ولكن متعتهم وآباءهم حتى نسوا الذكر وكانوا قوما بورا.
They will answer, glory to you. It was not worthy of us to seek any protector other than you. But you allowed them and their fathers a life of ease until they turned oblivious of the reminder. They were a people impenitent.
فقد كذبوكم بما تقولون فما تستطيعون صرفا ولا نصرا ومن يظلم منكم نذقه عذابا كبيرا.
The idolaters will be told, your gods have refuted your assertion. You can neither avert your doom nor receive any help. We shall make the wicked among you taste of severe punishment.
وما أرسلنا قبلك من المرسلين إلا إنهم ليأكلون الطعام ويمشون في الأسواق وجعلنا بعضكم لبعض فتنة أتصبرون وَكَانَ رَبُّكَ بَصِيرًا.
We never sent before you apostles who did not eat food and walk the marketplaces. We make some of you the means of trying the others. So will you persevere? Your Lord is always watching.
صدق الله العلي العظيم.